Hello, Grace Community Church, and welcome back to our cover-to-cover Bible reading plan. Today we are in Joshua 12, verse 7, and we're going through to Joshua 15, verse 19. Now, this is some of the most riveting reading you're going to have the whole time. I'm joking because there are so many names and places that we are unfamiliar with. There's names of these 30-plus kings, and then there's the names of these cities that are allotted to the people of Israel. And these are just unfamiliar. It's not Boulder City, it's not Henderson, it's not Las Vegas, it's not a different state that we know that we've been to. These places are unfamiliar to us. And so you might be wondering, how does this apply to me? What we see is that God is a God who keeps his word. And when he promises something, he brings it to pass. He promised that they would come to the promised land. And now they are here. And he told Moses, make sure you allot these lands to the people. Moses did it, and now they're here, and Joshua is fulfilling the call of God to give the land to the people. So God keeps his word. And so we can see the character of God, and we can take that and say, I can hold on to the promises of God because they can hold on to the promises of God. So now that is how we apply this to how we live in relationship to God. I do want to bring up some interesting historical facts that we see in the ancient Near East. Now, in about the 18th to the 11th century, there is this group of people called the Apiru people. Now, scholars have connected the Hebrews to the Apiru because it sounds similar. But recently, we've come to understand that the Apiru are a group, it's kind of a title for a type of person, a wanderer, a mercenary, a slave, a runaway. And in the 14th century, the reason that I bring this up, because in the 14th century, Israelites this is when they're doing these battles. They are the early 1400s, late 1300s, they are attacking these little cities. Well, in the late 1300s, there's a letter from one of these towns, one of these kingdoms in Canaan. So there's not just one letter, there's several letters, but they are asking Egypt for help against the Apiru people who are attacking them and defeating and going into league with other of these nations to defeat other nations. And so many scholars will say, "Wow, that's not the Israelites." But what we do know is that the Israelites were runaway slaves, that the Israelites were wanderers, and so this title of Apiru can apply to the Israelites. And so we have some evidence that there was these group of Apiru that were attacking Canaan at this time. And so I'm bringing this up because this is a really cool connection to what we know about history, that there was a group of people who were attacking these Canaanite towns around this time, and the Canaanites were asking Egypt for help. Now, the other thing I want you to see here is Caleb. Now, Caleb tells Joshua, hey, I'm here. You and I were there when the other people decided that they were going to lie and deceive the people. We were ready, you and me. And so I was 40 years old, now I'm 85. That tells us something, that there's been at least 5 years of fighting in this country. Joshua and Caleb are probably similar age. And the other thing that we see is that Caleb is still trusting in God. He is still being obedient, still fighting for God and loving him as well. And so he says, hey, there's these people over here, and they are, I want to go defeat them because that's what God has called us to do. And so Joshua gives them that town. Now, they go and they start defeating these Anakites and these other people. And then he calls for someone. I want to give my daughter in marriage to whoever has courage enough, faith enough in God to go defeat this town. Whoever does it, I will give my daughter to be married to them. He was looking for a man who was courageous. He was looking for a man who was brave enough and showed himself to be worthy to care for his daughter, and that was Othniel. Now, Othniel, you will see him in the book of Judges. He is one of the first judges that we will see. Now, this tells us something else, that while the Israelites came into the promised land and started to do what God had asked them to do, there's a thorn of these people, and they actually get pretty soon after they take the promised land, they actually come into bondage to someone else. And so Othniel is Joshua's successor to help save the people. So we'll see that in a little bit. But I want us to focus on two things. One is that God is a man of his word. He keeps his word. And two is that we can take a lesson from Caleb, and that no matter how old you are, if you trust in God and obey him and look for people who trust and obey, then we can take the hill. We can defeat the enemy. And so with Christ and with other Christians who are like-minded and want to know Christ and be with Christ more, we can overcome everything that is thrown our way. It may not lead to success, but it will lead to spiritual and emotional, physical wholeness because of who God is. So I hope you enjoyed the reading today. God bless you.